Hello, surprise, I'm doing another live stream. I didn't even know I was going to be doing this, to be honest, but last night I got back from this festival a little bit late and didn't have time to make a video. I mean, maybe I could have, but I didn't want to force out a video that I wasn't going to be able to put a ton of quality into, so here I am doing another live stream. This is the first time I'm doing it on a Tuesday, so hopefully some of you guys will show up, which reminds me I need to give my typical disclaimer. If you're not here live right now watching it, if it's after the fact and you're watching it, you don't have to sit through and watch the whole thing. You can scroll down to the description. There are going to be timestamps of everything that we talked about, so you just click on it and it'll go straight to whatever minute I'm talking about, whatever thing. And my cat is aggressively trying to open the door right now, so okay, let's see. What was I going to talk about first? So yeah, today I'm just going to talk about current events a little bit for now, since I don't really know what else to talk about. So the first current event is a little bit more personal. If you hear that noise, by the way, that is still my cat really trying hard to open the door. But anyway, let's see. So yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is Okeechobee, which was fantastic, by the way. So I have a bunch of notes here on my computer, so if I'm looking away, that's why I'm trying to remember everything I wanted to talk about. But good morning, Shadia? I forget how to pronounce it, but thank you for being here. And okay, so yeah, Okeechobee, the music festival. My cat is extremely distracting. I'm gonna tune him out now. Okay, so yes, so this was a camping music festival. So you go there, you camp next to your car in a tent, and it's like 4 days, but I actually got there a day early because I was working it. I still have the wristband on. It says crew. But yeah, so I was working through something called Work Exchange Team, where you basically get a discounted ticket plus they pay you, so it comes out to being roughly free. And all you have to do is work 3 6-hour shifts throughout the weekend. And the work really didn't require much effort at all. The first shift I was just handing out trash bags and recycle bags to cars that were coming in Thursday night. And they didn't even need us after a few hours, so I only ended up working 2.5 hours. I just worked the info booth early in the morning from 7 a.m. till 1 p.m., sorry. And so that was extremely easy too. Not that many people are looking for information that early in the morning, and even when they were, it wasn't usually very complicated. So that was pretty nice. Okay, cool. Glad to see I got the name right on that, by the way. But yes, so the things that I liked about Okeechobee are that, I mean, I have a very specific taste in music. I really like house and techno. So for me, I didn't really go just because of the lineup. It's like a very diverse lineup, but I actually like that about it because, as I said, I've been super into 1 or 2 genres of music almost exclusively for so long now. It's been kind of nice and refreshing to hear other types of music, including stuff that I used to listen to that I don't listen to anymore. Like one of the last people to play was Mumford & Sons, who I used to listen to all the time in like 10th grade or so when I went through that kind of phase of music. And so that was really nice. But yeah, I liked that it was a really big venue and there were a ton of different stages, like very different atmospheres at each stage. There was a tent type of stage, which I think was new this year. And then there was the Jungle 51, which was my favorite because that was house and techno, and it was also just in the middle of like a little jungly, foresty area, and they had disco balls everywhere and lights and the cool stage and everything, so that was awesome. They had a lot of activities. Like I didn't really participate in many of the activities because I was so focused on working, sleeping, and seeing all the DJs that I wanted to see, so I didn't really have time to go do the things. But they had stuff like yoga, group meditations, little sports like beach volleyball or something, I don't remember, but all sorts of little stuff like that. But yeah, actually I feel like I'm really lucky that I just got to go to this festival because people were telling me that it was almost canceled a couple days before. I'm not sure who, but someone was trying to cancel it, and the company putting it on was like, no, I'm sorry, this festival is going on because it's already set up. Everyone's probably already traveling here to get here. Like, we're not going to cancel it. Because a lot of other festivals are getting canceled due to the coronavirus, including Ultra Miami, which I was supposed to go to and I was really excited for. And so that one's canceled, and who knows how many other ones are going to get canceled, because all sorts of cities are being shut down, or whatever you call it, put on a lockdown, all this stuff. It's getting pretty crazy. So I'm actually going to talk about the coronavirus in just a minute. But yeah, so let's see. Another cool thing that happened this weekend while I was at Okeechobee was that there were a few times where the thought just went through my head that I really want to make music. Like, in that moment, I was just like, dang, I wish I was like making a song right now. Like, I really wanted to start doing that. So I'm not sure when I would like to start doing that, because I have a lot on my plate already. But at some point, I think that would be really fun, especially, like, specifically what I was thinking during that was that I think it's so cool when people make kind of house or other genre remixes of songs from other genres, if that makes any sense. So, for example, like, I don't know, if there's like a reggae song that you really like or something, somehow figure out how to use little pieces of that and elements of that in a house song. Like, or another really good example is there's a group called Kerala Dust, who is, I guess it's techno, kind of, but like kind of mysterious and chill type of vibes. And they have their own version of The Chain by Fleetwood Mac, and it's awesome. And so, like, I think that's a really unique way to kind of leave your mark as a DJ or producer, is to take remixes of songs from totally other genres that a lot of people might not know about, but then you can kind of expose your audience to that song through your own style of music, if that makes any sense. But that was something I've been thinking about a lot this weekend. I'm pretty excited to try sooner or later. So, let's see. Yeah, I'd say that mostly wraps it up for Okeechobee. So I'm going to get into my thoughts on the coronavirus now. Honestly, in my opinion, I seriously think that if you told me that if I were to go to Ultra Miami Music Festival, I would have a 100% chance of getting the coronavirus, I would still go. And my reasoning for that is that the mortality rate is something like, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 or 4%, I'm not sure. And that 2%, or whatever number it is, are almost entirely older people and other people with weakened and compromised immune systems, which means that for a healthy young person like me, there's really a very, very, very small chance of dying. That if you're not going to die, then it's really more just kind of like getting the flu, getting kind of sick for, who knows, a week or two. And I mean, I would take that hit, honestly, because this was going to be like an unbelievable music festival. And I think that if you are afraid of getting the coronavirus, the simple solution is to just not go. Just sell your ticket or something like that. It's like a risk that you have to be willing to take, I guess. So I don't know if that makes any sense either, but what else was I going to say? Yeah, another thing, I never checked this fact, but I'm assuming it's true. I should probably look it up, though. One of my roommates said that he saw an estimate that 40 to 70% of the world is going to end up getting the coronavirus at some point or another. And so if that's true, I mean, this thing is already spreading like crazy. It's almost like, what good is it going to do canceling all these other events? Like, even the alumni reunion weekend thing of my college just got canceled as well. That's supposed to be in a couple of weeks. It's just wild. I don't know how this is going on, but I guess it's in the best interest of the people's health and whatnot, but I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But yeah, the last thing I'm going to say about the coronavirus is that something that I thought was really cool. I'm actually just going to pull up the post right now. But I saw a post on Instagram by a DJ who's actually one of the earliest house DJs out there. So he's older. His name is Lil Lewis, and he calls himself the founding father of house. And he posted this photo the other day. Oop, there we go. And that's him sitting alone on an airplane with a mask on. And in the caption, he's talking about, he says, "I am alone on a flight traveling to come see my fans. Many people, including loved ones, have begged me to cancel. I see cancellations everywhere, festivals, events, even cities and countries shut down. And I understand the unrest, but living in fear is worse than dying. We face hard decisions now, and I don't have all the answers. But I do have one question for all club and festival owners, execs, promoters, managers, agents, DJs, artists, music lovers, and and fans. Do we stop dancing? I don't want to be sick either, hence the mask, but my mother never stopped being my mother when I was sick. She never abandoned the house. She gave us the medicine of love and helped us get better. So there's nothing that will stop me from being the founding father of house. Nothing that can stop me from playing for you." Man, I'm doing so badly at reading this out loud. "And there should be nothing that stops us from dancing with each other. We should be smart. Wash your hands often for 20 seconds like my mom always taught me. And until the politicians are honest and figure this thing out, I may give you a pound instead of a handshake. But I'll be there. I am coming to play for you. House music until I die. Lil Lewis." So basically, he's kind of expressing the point that we should be acting more out of we should be acting more out of like love for things like house music and community and having a good time than out of the fear of getting sick. And so he's really dedicated to that mission, and he's going everywhere to play that he possibly can. And I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, that wraps it up for coronavirus. Now, what else to talk about? What else? Okay, so something I don't really do a lot. Wait, let's see. So we will enjoy as much as we can. Not hide at home if we end up getting the virus anyway. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Let's see. Let's see, another topic that I'll talk about briefly, because honestly, I don't know, I'm not very politically involved. I kind of hear about what happens in the news related to politics every once in a while, but I'm not that guy that just watches everything and knows everything that's going on. But from what I've seen with this presidential election, these Democratic primaries and whatnot, it seems like Joe Biden has just surpassed Bernie Sanders, and I'm kind of happy about that because I see Biden as kind of the more moderate and realistic option. I think Bernie's ideals are a little too far out there for a lot of people, and that it would be a little hard to get the entire country behind a candidate like Bernie. But I see Biden as the kind of more realistic option, and so I think that's a pretty good thing. In terms of my own political views, I'm kind of moderate, kind of liberal-ish, but yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't even know why I'm trying to talk about politics right now, because honestly, I don't really like it or keep up with it a whole lot. Just the minimum that I need to get by. So, yeah, scrap that. I don't even want to talk politics. So, anybody watching? Does anybody watching have any questions or anything for me right now? Because that's honestly my favorite part about these live streams, is kind of having a little back and forth conversation with you guys, talking about whatever you want to talk about, talking about who knows what else. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything that you'd like to talk about, please type it in the chat now. And also, yes, there is a long delay. I just tried to count it before the live stream started. I think the delay is like 25 seconds or so from the time that I say something or move or do whatever to the time that it shows up there. And then by the time you type something and I see it, it's probably more than 30 seconds or so. So that's kind of annoying. But anyway, I digress. So, yeah, what was I going to say? Well, I wasn't going to say anything, actually. I don't really have much else to talk about. But, sometimes as I start rambling like this, I end up stumbling across a topic that I want to talk about, and I end up going on a rant. So I'm just kind of hoping that happens right now. Something just pops into my head, and I'm like, oh my God, yes, I need to talk about that. So, hi Damien, what's up? Glad to have you here. I know you're always in these live streams. I really appreciate the support. Want to talk about anything? If you have anything to talk about, please ask me a question, because I'm kind of desperate for topics right now. So, let's see. Same, I gave my friend to do my paper as part of the logo. Yeah. For real, yeah. I'm not about politics that much either, so no worries. But let's see, I was about to say something. Oh, yeah. I guess something that I could talk about is my plans for monetizing my passions, I guess. If you watched either of my videos from last week, they were about finding your passion, why you should do it, and how you can do it. And I really think I've kind of nailed down a couple of my passions between music and DJing and all that stuff. And YouTube, personal development, spirituality, mindfulness, that whole thing. And also fitness too. Like, those are kind of like the three biggest areas of passion in my life. And so ideally, I would like to be able to make a living just doing all those things all the time. And so I guess I'll go process of elimination a little bit. I'll start with fitness. That's one that I just enjoy because I like being able to eat a lot of food and not feel bad about it. I like having a decent looking body. I like the actual act of working out. I think it's kind of fun to work out, but that's about as far as it goes. That's not a passion where it's something that I want to like become a personal trainer or make a clothing brand for gym clothes or something. Like, that's not really like a super deep passion of mine. That's just one that I like to do all the time, but don't necessarily want to pursue as a career. But then, in terms of the YouTube and the DJing, basically my plan is to pursue both of those, just spend all of my time doing both of those two things, and then see where they take me. And so hopefully with the DJing, I guess the way that I would start is I would start with the smaller events here, like for example, little parties, and then maybe like bars or clubs, and then hopefully just start getting some little gigs, make a little bit of money, and then who knows, maybe even play at like a small festival or something, just slowly start making money from that. And then also, as kind of a side note, it's not exactly related, but it's in the same general environment of like partying and stuff. I would also really like to start bartending soon for a little bit of short-term cash and just kind of a fun thing to do. So that's kind of the party side. And then the YouTube and personal development stuff, that's super long-term. Like, I started this channel, I would say September is when I started being a lot more serious with it. And I haven't made any money from it yet, because in order to make money from the ads, you need at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time on your channel in the past year. And I haven't hit either of those things yet. And so I haven't been making ad money, and I haven't done anything to start making money from just leveraging the followers, their subscribers or whatever. And so in terms of that, I'm actually considering starting some sort of coaching program soon. I'm not sure what it'll really be called. Like, I'll be like a life coach or a mindfulness coach or something else coach. But I would really like to start offering a more in-depth kind of service where we can talk maybe on the phone every week or every day or whatever the case may be. And just you get much more personalized and more in-depth insights from me, I guess, because if I just assume that if you like to watch my videos, like to consume my content, that you like to hear what I have to say and you think that it brings you some sort of value. And so this is basically just the next level of that value. But of course, the first step in that process is going to be getting a certification. I think there's something called the International Coaching Federation or something like that, where you can get certified to be an actual coach. So I would definitely do that first and then start figuring out how to do that. And I actually, luckily, at a YouTube meetup recently, I met a guy who is a life coach, and he wants to get started in YouTube. I'm kind of the other way around. I'm in YouTube, and I want to get started life coaching. So I could probably talk to him, figure out something, figure out how I'm going to get clients, and pursue that. So that's pretty much my short-term goals for monetizing my passions. Now, okay, Damien, when did you start interested about personal development? So this is a funny story. I think I might have mentioned this. I definitely brought this up in another live stream before. I don't remember which one, but I'll go ahead and say it again. My whole path of personal development started with one simple Google search. Simple but embarrassing Google search, which was how to talk to girls. So what happened was basically I was extremely busy all of high school with all my schoolwork and my rowing, the crew, whatever, sports. And so I didn't really socialize a whole lot or have a lot of interaction with girls. And then right at the end of high school, I ended up getting a girlfriend who I dated for like 2.5 years, the first couple of years of college, basically. And so first couple of years of college, again, wasn't really talking to girls for a long time. And so here I am halfway through college, newly single, and I have no game whatsoever. I don't know how to talk to girls. And so at this point I was like, well, do I just figure it out myself? I was like, it's kind of like embarrassing to Google like how to talk to girls, whatever. But then I was like, but what do I have to lose? Like, who cares if I just Google it, whatever. So I dropped my ego and I just Googled it, how to talk to girls. And I started watching a couple of videos of guys approaching girls and then stuff about like pickup and all that stuff. And I thought it was pretty interesting. And it ended up, it goes way beyond that aspect of it, because the point of it wasn't like, here I am trying to find a way to manipulate a girl to be able to get her or something like that. No, it was the opposite. It was more, I'm going to find ways to bring myself up and make myself a high-value man so that girls want me. And so it basically leads not only into how to get girls, but how to just become a better person. And so how to kind of develop yourself, personal development. And so that's pretty much how I got into it, because that stuff led into more general topics of personal development and went way, way deeper into other things. Like, that's how I got into spirituality, actually. Like, this, I don't know, just all of it started with that one simple search. And it's kind of embarrassing to admit, but hey, why not? Why not admit it? So, come to Sweden and do some DJ. I would love that. I've been to Sweden a couple years ago, actually. Yeah, almost exactly 2 years ago, because it was spring break while I was junior in college, and I was studying in Spain. So I was already over in Europe, and a friend of mine, the other guy that I was studying abroad with, we went through a trip through a bunch of Northern Europe. So we started in Amsterdam, and then we went to, let's see, I'm going to try to remember what order we went everywhere. Amsterdam, then I guess, was it Copenhagen, and then Stockholm, and then Oslo, I think, something like that. But yeah, we visited all those countries, and Sweden was definitely cool. We actually also went to Malmo while we were in Copenhagen. We took a little trip. Yeah, was that it? We went, yeah, I think while we were in, no, I don't remember. I can't think of the geography right now of all those countries and where everything is, but while we were in one of the other cities, we took a visit to Malmo, Sweden, and that was pretty cool. They had a really cool museum there, I remember. But yeah, what else? Yeah, I would love to go to Sweden and DJ. So now I just need to get good enough that I can have an international tour. So just give that about at least 5 years or so, and then I'll be there. Or I can just go to Sweden for fun and DJ for fun. That would be another option. But yeah. Man, I really want to DJ. Actually, check this out. This is pretty cool. Speaking of DJing, we are right in front of my DJ table. Boom. Look at that setup. That's pretty dope, right? So yeah, this is how it works. Yeah, quick DJ. Let's do that. Let's do a quick little DJ lesson right now. So make sure everything's in the right spots right now. So yeah, DJing 101. I'll just spend a couple minutes on this for anybody that's curious. So I guess the way it would work is you'd start with one side, because basically this side controls one song, this side controls another song, and you'd have one song playing, and you'd have the volume up here, because this little section controls this side. And then this controls the speed of the song, the tempo. Over here you have what are called cue points, where you can set on the computer, you can set where you want to go in a certain song. So every time you press this, it goes to a certain spot. You press this, it goes to a different spot, whatever. You can do that. Up here, you probably can't see them, but there are some little knobs for different effects that will make everything sound a little different. And then these are probably like the bread and butter of mixing right here. When you're ready to get into the next song, what you're going to do is you're going to start beat matching it. So you'll have it playing into your headphones by using one of these buttons here, so that everyone's hearing that song and then you are hearing that song. And then what you'll do is you'll be using this to slowly adjust the song. Well, first you have to make sure that they're on the same tempo, same beats per minute, like 125 for example. And then you want them to line up, basically, like instead of being like this and like clashing, you want them to be hitting at the same exact time. So then you'll use this to make that happen. And then you can slowly, what I would do is probably bring the EQs down to about there. These are the low, medium, and high, low, mid, and high frequencies. So I would bring those down, maybe bring in the volume, but then you still won't hear it quite so much out there because these are still lower. And then you'd slowly start mixing one side, like the highs, for example, from one song while taking them out of that song. Slowly mixing them, mixing them, mixing them. You start hearing that song a little bit more out there. And then at some point, probably at a moment that's pretty obvious, you'll go boom and switch the basses, and then you can also cut that song out. And now suddenly that song is playing without you even realizing it sometimes, if you do it well enough. So, yeah, I don't know. I just felt like explaining that because I have the DJ table right here, so why not? And I probably forgot a couple of the basics, but, you know, whatever. So I hope you enjoyed that little DJ lesson. That was pretty random. I'm sorry about that if that was boring for anybody. But, yeah. Honestly, I just don't really know what else to talk about right now. It's been a really long weekend. I'm pretty tired. Definitely didn't sleep a whole lot this weekend, especially having to work the festival too. It's like early in the mornings, waking up at 6:30 to go work. It was rough, but it was definitely a fun experience. It was worth it. I would totally work another festival because you meet a lot of cool people that way, and a lot of other people that are going alone too. Because I went there alone, so showing up there, the guy next to me, he was also there alone working, and so we became pretty close. And then a bunch of other people were in another tent section a little down the street, not the street, but down the car park, and we were all there camping together a little bit. Pretty fun. But, yeah. I think I might have to end this live stream a little bit sooner because I'm really, really struggling to think of anything to say right now. And, yeah, not a whole lot of questions coming in. But it's okay. It's okay. Next time. And also, yeah, this is also the first live stream on a Tuesday. And so I think Friday is kind of a better day for live stream. It's like a little bit better vibe, you know? It's like a cool way to end the week. It's like after a long week, just like a nice little morning conversation, you know, get the weekend started off right. But Tuesday, it's kind of like middle of the week. It's just not the vibe. So, there's some ducks outside. That's pretty cool. But, yeah, with that being said, I think I am going to wrap this live stream up because, like I said, don't have much to talk about. And now it's been about 30 minutes, which sounds like a pretty good spot to cut it off, even though I usually do about 45, This time will be a little bit different. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining, and I hope you enjoyed my rants and my struggles, because I always tend to struggle on these live streams from time to time, figuring out what to talk about. But if you're here, I really appreciate you, and I will see you on Friday. I'm not sure what my video is going to be yet. It's between one of two options. There's one video, it's called the Taoist Farmer. It's a story. If you're interested in it, look it up. But I'm basically going to tell that story and then explain my thoughts about it and the lessons that you can take from it. Or I'm going to make a little bit of an after movie from Okeechobee with all the videos that I took. I'm going to put together a bunch of little videos of the scenery, like the stages and some of the performances and things like that, and maybe have some cool music playing over the background. So expect one of those two videos on Friday, or maybe something completely different. Who knows? But anyway, yes, that's about it. So thank you for joining, and I will see you on Friday. Peace. And now let me figure